Welcome back. Now, the automotive industry is slow in recovering to pre-pandemic levels. Last year, the industry contributed 4.9% to GDP. With certain interventions, this could be increased dramatically. Komane Pitso, who's Senior VP of Commercial Operations at ISUZU Motors South Africa, joins us to discuss the role and impact of localized production for the benefit of the local economy. Komane, thank you so much for your time and a good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, and thanks very much for the invite, and good afternoon to everyone.
Now, of course, we often speak of COVID-19 as a bit of a pointer, and then we look at the departure away from it. And I'm keen to just get your thoughts, from COVID-19, looking ahead. What has it been like playing in South Africa's automotive sector?
I think one of the key things that has been demonstrated by the automotive sector, especially from the COVID period and going forward, has been the resilience of the industry. It has been very tough for the industry. We've seen what the numbers have done in terms of the decline, but the resilience of the industry has been demonstrated as the industry has had some recoveries, and in the recent times, because of the economic situation that we've seen some decline, but the industry is quite a robust industry that's really, in the future, going to be working hard to improve. We know that, the outlook is quite low, but we're quite confident in the industry that there are opportunities for the auto industry to grow even further into the future.
I'm also keen to find out just about, being a manufacturer and OEM in South Africa at this point. We really have seen, conditions that would automatically lead to deindustrialization, automatically hold back investment, and also, I think, might even hold back investment decisions because the policy environment has been very, very shaky. How has it been working through, these realities, and then also keeping the automotive industry going? Because it actually is one of the good news stories to come out of, South Africa, even under these circumstances.
Absolutely, certainly. You look at the overall industry, multiple original equipment manufacturers, OEMs, have invested billions of rands into South Africa in the last couple of years in terms of developing and growing the industry. And closer to home at ISUZU Motors, we have invested 2 years ago with the launch of our Generation 7 D-Max buggy. We invested in localizing components, and we continue to invest in industrializing and growing the economy locally through the localization of components, which results in the creation of jobs, development of various enterprises. And I think as organizations, we see a lot of positives coming out of South Africa and an opportunity for South Africa as a whole from an economic point of view. Hence, the automotive industry has invested a lot into South Africa.
I'm actually glad you mentioned the issue of local economies and localization, Komane. Just take us into confidence here about, where ISUZU operates, for instance, in Gqeberha, and also being able to feed into communities. Because I guess that's a big part of international investment when it comes to South Africa. Sure, real big markets can benefit, but local communities can often be left behind.
Absolutely. If you look at it from the overall economy, ISUZU is committed to the integrated and transformation of the industry. It's committed to actually bringing diversity into the transformation and the economic development. Now, closer to home in Gqeberha, we've done a lot of initiatives in terms of developing enterprises. We've developed multiple enterprises in the last couple of years. And that can be seen in what we've done in terms of being in the 4th year of being a BBBE level 1 company. We have graduated a couple of enterprises from just being enterprises to being suppliers to ISUZU. We have helped a lot of companies to actually establish employment. And in the Eastern Cape, and more in particular in the city we operate in, which is Gqeberha. So ISUZU has really been deliberate. We've had coordinated and deliberate actions in terms of developing enterprises in the region and in our city so that we can create jobs and we can grow the economy from a city point of view.
Komane, we spoke, I think, when we started our conversation that the outlook still is rather bleak. What kind of environment would be better enabling for, for the automotive sector as a whole?
There are a couple of things. Let's start looking at the source, right? The economic situation is quite challenging. The interest rates are quite high. people's priorities will be going into other areas. And then the second part of it is we know nationally we have challenges from logistics point of view with Transnet, we have challenges with utility supply with Eskom. So I think if we look at those three areas, starting off with the influence that we can have and even starting to work with the government is with regard to Eskom, the improvement, we need to get it back to have consistent power supply. And from logistics point of view, we have seen the launch of the National Logistics Crisis Committee jointly with the government and the private sector to bring back the drumbeat in the supply chain. We need to have normality coming back in terms of the supply chain from ports point of view, from rail point of view, to start creating an environment that's more conducive for the auto industry and the economy in general to grow. And then as a result, we'll see the positives that will be coming in terms of economic growth. We'll see, the inflation level coming down eventually with this growth. And as a result, then interest rates will be coming down and helping people to start being more active in the economy to grow our economy.
And before I let you go, let's also touch on the significance of the private and public entity collaboration that we see, when it comes to looking at economic transformation initiatives, and even how the automotive sector has made a very good use of this mechanism.
I want to draw you close as we talk about that to the new energy vehicles. And then this is where now the government and private sector plays in together, because I think this is where the private sector, government, and research institutions need to get together and fund and promote research into creating new industries, especially when it comes to mobility. We're now growing into new energy. We've got manganese in South Africa. We've got in other nearby countries, cobalt, which two of those components can be used, or two of those can be used in the buildup of energy components, in the buildup of batteries. So it's quite important for the private sector and government to work together in establishing, and doing some research and establishing new industries in South Africa for us to remain competitive in supplying the auto industry, not just in South Africa, but in the 152 and more other countries that we export countries into as an industry.
Well, it's been fantastic hearing from you. Thank you so much for speaking to us today, and I hope we can keep chatting. That was Komane Pitso, Senior VP of Commercial Operations at ISUZU Motors South Africa.